This story is called the Hee-Haw River.
Hee-Haw River.
Hee-Haw River. Okay. It was a hot day on Farmer Buck's farm. So hot that all of the animals felt like they were bacon, especially the pig. Well, on a hot day like this, there was only one thing for the animals to do, and that was go down by the river that rolled through Farmer Buck's farm and dream of cooler weather.
Oink! Oink, oink, said Pig. Can't you just imagine me in my bathing suit, walking along the sandy beaches of Mexico with the cool water rushing under my feet?
Moo, said the cow.
I'd rather not.
Hee-haw, hee-haw, said Mule. We could go to Antarctica and go sledding with the penguins. Ooh, black and white, I'd fit in there. Uh-oh. Here comes Mrs. Buck with the laundry, and she doesn't look like she's in a good mood.
Mrs. Buck was never in a good mood on laundry day. She could always think of at least 100 other things that she would rather be doing.
I could be swinging in my hammock, or eating cake, or drinking cool lemonade.
When the animals saw Mrs. Buck coming with her washboard and her laundry, they knew to steer clear of her. They could hear her muttering away.
Lazy river. You just roll along. I never get to be lazy. You're so slow, you might as well just stop.
That is when everyone was surprised because the river did just that. It stopped short and didn't move.
Oh no. What have I done? Run, you lazy river, run!
But the river had no intention of running. Oh no, it was very happy to be sitting there. It was tired of all the abuse and complaining.
Well, you're not only lazy, you're stubborn. As stubborn as a mule.
With that, Mrs. Buck turned and marched back to the farmhouse, where she was sure she would find things more to her liking. Oink! Good! Now I can get me a drink of cool water.
Moo! That sounds nice. Hee-haw, hee-haw, said Mule. Me too.
When Mule stuck his head down into the water to get a drink, that is when the mischievous river decided to steal the mule's hee-haw. Oh boy, that river, he was happy to be doing something else. Why, Mrs. Buck had said that it was as stubborn as a mule. Why shouldn't the river sound like one too?
Well, when the mule realized that his hee-haw was missing, he noticed the cow mooing. And he decided he was going to steal the cow's moo, and he ran right in front of cow with his mouth wide open as though he were going to take a bite right out of the air. Moo! Moo! Said Mule.
When Cow heard Mule, she wanted to talk back, but nothing came out of Cow's mouth. Cow saw Pig giggling and oinking, and Cow decided to steal Pig's oink. Cow opened her mouth wide like she was yawning and ran right in front of Pig.
Oink, Oink, said Cow. Well, it wasn't long till Pig noticed that his oink was missing, and he decided he was going to steal the cat's meow. He saw the cat wandering by and ran right in front of her with his mouth open as though he were going to take a bite right out of a corn cob. Meow! Meow!
Said Pig. Now Cat had been on his way to Farmer Buck's house to get a drink of milk. When he got there, he scratched at the door and no sound came out of his mouth. He decided to steal the buzz of the bees zipping by.
Buzz. 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 Mrs. Buck, hearing that buzzing outside, what kind of a bee can scratch at the door? She wasn't about to open the door to such a large, scary-sounding bee. Cat was going to have to go without his milk today, and he was none too happy without his meow, and he blamed Pig for stealing it.
Pig blamed Cow for stealing her oink.
And Cow blamed that mule for stealing her moo.
Mule blamed the river that wouldn't run for stealing his hee-haw. Mule went and found Farmer Buck. He was working in the barn. Mule said, "Moo! Make that river move!" Farmer Buck was a bit confused by what he heard come out of Mule's mouth. He scratched his head. I reckon I might be needing a break. I'm hearing things. Farmer Buck picked up his fishing pole and headed down to the river. About this time, Mrs. Buck decided that she was finally going to finish the laundry. On her way down to the river, she passed Farmer Buck lopping along with his fishing pole, and she passed Cow and Pig and Cat before she got to the river and started muttering again.
You lazy river, just laying around. That's when she heard hee-haw, hee-haw from the river. Well, she thought for sure the mule must be in the river drowning. So she leapt right in with all of her clothes on and was thrashing around in the water until she finally laid hold on a branch under the water and started to pull and pull. She thought it was Mule's tail.
Farmer Buck heard all the commotion, so he dropped his fishing pole and ran down to the river. He saw his wife thrashing around. He dove in after her, sure that she was drowning. He thrashed about, grabbed onto her shoe. I gotcha. It came right off. Grabbed onto her other shoe. I gotcha. It came right off. It was a lot of commotion.
Well, Mule, he heard Farmer Buck thrashing around the river, and he jumped in to save Farmer Buck. He reached out and sunk his teeth right into Farmer Buck's behind and started pulling and pulling, and Cow and Pig and Cat, they all jumped into the river to help too.
What a commotion.
Well, all of this commotion, it was way more than the river could handle. It decided to run away, and it ran faster and faster, leaving all of that behind, including the hee-haw.
One by one, the animals and the farmer and his wife, they crawled out of the river all wet and grumpy. They turned to look at that river rushing past.
Oh, rush, rush, rush. What's your hurry?
Farmer Buck scratched his head, and all the animals